Okay, so what takes place next, like I've already said, is one of the most exciting parts of my life. It also happened very quickly, so I may have a couple of things out of order. But basically, I had my apartment that was secured and taken care of. I had at least deposit and first month's rent paid, right? So I was like, I had a little bit of breathing room, as in a month, right? And not enrolled in classes. So I wasn't like having any kind of loan disbursement coming my way anytime soon. And one more thing I want to add. So obviously no course load, so no classes to worry about. But very quickly, I realized, oh boy, rent's gonna come due next month, and I have no way to pay it because the one job that I had, my work study job, obviously I lost that when I dropped out of school. So, my, girlfriend at the time, Jane, she was of the mindset that I should just get a job at a gas station. Like, I should work anywhere. I need to get a job to make money. I don't necessarily fault her for that. And you'll see why I think it's just a little ironic right now. I guess I kind of see where she was coming from, but also, I'll be honest, I'm not saying this was the smartest of me, but like, I had an ego. I had just dropped out of UCLA. Like, I had worked my ass off to get into UCLA. So this was a huge hit to my ego, but the last thing I was going to do was just get any dead-end job to make ends meet. With all due respect, I had a significant amount of experience as a veterinary assistant. I had a significant amount of experience as a math and science tutor. Like, there are so many things that I could have fallen back on other than just any dead-end job that'll pay me a check, right? I'm just saying what was going on in my mind. I am not saying that this thinking was the best way of thinking. I'm not saying it was the best approach or any of that. I'm saying it was my approach. So that stubbornness, anyway. So I started to look into work. Again, I still wanted to be a veterinarian at this point. So I started to look for work in my field. And I interviewed at 2 different dog boarding places, facilities, dog walking companies. One was more like a doggy daycare. The other one was more of a dog like company, like a pet care provider, pet care company. Lots of employees. People would like go to the place and walk the dogs, or stay at the house overnight and walk the dogs, right? And neither of the owners of these businesses, I felt, were necessarily anything special. I saw the huge businesses that they had, and it was actually in the middle of the interview with the dog, not the doggy daycare, the dog like walking company, for lack of a better term. This individual ridiculed me a little bit for wearing a suit to the interview, like kind of was like mocking me for being dressed up to an interview. I remember this person sitting there like sipping from a straw from like their little can of Coca-Cola. I wasn't really impressed, right? I had to pretend I was because it was an interview, right? But I just remember having this epiphany in the middle of the interview, like, I could totally do what this person's doing. I can totally start my own business. I can be successful, and I'll be good at it because I know a lot more than what this person does. And I have more expertise. I have more knowledge than this person does. And if this person is successful with this, I will certainly be successful with what I'm going to do. So I left that interview already deciding that I was going to start my own business. and start my own business is what I ended up calling it, because in my mind, I'm thinking this is kind of just survival mode. This is kind of just what I'm doing until I get back into school, until I'm back in classes, until I'm back on the path of being a veterinarian, right? Never, never, never intended for this business to last 8 years, and then I end up selling my client list when I run for office many years later. Not the intention whatsoever. Literally, I started watching dogs out of my house, out of my apartment, and I called it Eric Curry's Pets. And this is the story. This is the part of how I started the business that sustained me for the next 8 years.